hearing from you how to show respect and the orders of respect. It is also equally important to receive respect gracefully. As practicing sadhakas, we often become recipients of respect and appreciation, deserving or undeserving. I've heard and understand that we should acknowledge the respect and appreciation we receive and not negate it, and also acknowledge the givers of service, that is Guru and Krishna, and offer the results to them. What are the other important considerations to keep in mind to receive respect properly?
Nice question. I mean, along with respect, a starting point of Vaishnava conduct is humility. Amanitvam adambitvam from Bhagavad Gita. Humility and pridelessness. So pride is it sticks, and pridelessness is it doesn't stick. Someone offers some appreciation or respect, it just goes right through you to the source of where the person is honoring something, that the thing they're honoring, where did it come from? Came from your teachers or the teachings, or from Krishna ultimately, from great souls who trained me in such. It's a little bit like what Jamuna said. It's a teacher-student relationship, and there's layers and layers and layers of sweetness and mystery in all of that. But one can't enter in it if there's pride or lack of humility. So that's another something. A principle is humility. And so when some respect does come, or some honor, or some something, who owns it? You don't own it. Those who gave you that something that's being respected, they own it. It goes to them. Respect goes to them. There's a humility tendency where somebody is being respected, they say, no. And no, it depends on where the no goes, but it's not, it should bounce. It's just transfer it to the right person. For the person that's asking this question, a very helpful place for this reader or this person to go is Brihat Bhagavatamrita Part 1, where Narada Muni is sent by many brahmanas to find out, to explore, to come back and report to them who's the greatest recipient of the mercy of the Supreme Lord. And he goes here and goes there and goes there. And each time he goes someplace, it's by referral to someone who said, no, so-and-so, they're the recipient of mercy. And he goes there and sees that they're recipient of mercy. And he says, oh, you're such a recipient of mercy. You're giving praise and respect. And they say, I'm not the recipient of mercy. Here's my disqualification. Do you want to find someone qualified and receiving the mercy of the Lord? Go to such and such. So he goes to such and such. And so it keeps going and going and going and going. It's transferring that appreciation to someone more deserving. In the case of what Jamuna did, she was trained by Prabhupada, and she didn't boast about how she was trained. She just explained this was the training, and this was the behavior, and it was pleasing. This is what Prabhupada wanted, so we just did what Prabhupada wanted. And then you learn how to do that. That's the classic, or a feature of a classic teacher-student relationship, and you'll learn so much just from that. So that's some examples of response to this question. Anybody else? Comments or questions? Hare Krishna. You got to hit the right button. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj, for beautiful stories. It's nectar to hear all these stories.
Can you adjust the volume? Go ahead. Keep going. Your voice is soft, so they're going to turn the volume up on the speaker.
It's very nectar to hear all these stories, Maharaj, from you. The question is, actually, I think it starts with respect, you said, and there are a lot of stories we are hearing, and Rama stories. To give that level of respect, maybe we should have some other qualities and where we need to improve.
Your question is similar to her question. Or my response to your question is similar to my response to her question, which is humility.
We wanted to hear more on that from you, Prabhu.
Next time when I come, somebody remind me, and we can speak on that topic. There's a whole seminar on that topic, like 4-part seminar. There's a lot to say on that topic. So, but it's a principle, the principle, with elaboration on the principle. Who am I? The spirit soul. What's the spirit soul? Fragmental, tiny speck of spiritual potency, spiritual energy, para prakriti. That's part of the para Brahman, part of the supreme living entity. And I'm small, and there's one who's really big. And the business of the small, the part, is to serve the whole. Humility, but not cosmetic. Hang your head down and feel bad about yourself. But humility, where I know who I am. And that's an essential part of the Vaishnava etiquette. In all circumstances. I'm tiny. I'm meant to serve the Supreme, the source of everything. That's who I am. That's what I do. I've forgotten that, and so I've been busy with other things, like trying to be enjoyer of God's property. But that's not my rightful position. My rightful position is His property, and He's the enjoyer of His property. So it's humility. And service, second, service mood. Always, always, always. Constitutionally, I'm the servant of the source, the servants of the master. And that's happiness. When the servant tries to be the master, it's a problem. Because there's already somebody that's the master. In the world, the servant can become the master, but in spiritual reality, the servant never becomes the master. The master is the master. Now, the master is very kind. Krishna is very kind, and he becomes subservient to his devotee. But we don't want Krishna to become subservient to us. We want to serve in all circumstances. Okay? Humility and service mood.
Yes, Maharaj. If any time permits, if you can tell me one small example or any small story, Maharaj.
I've been doing small stories. Give the microphone to somebody else.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. You had a slide which was showing this instruction, do not blame the instrument of your karma.
I remember.
Yes. So that is a very, played a very, very important role, that instruction in my life, even still now. Because when it was like maybe 2008 or 9, I don't remember. I was new to this, that time, coming to, so it was in New Vrindavan or somewhere, I remember. That's the first time I heard this one was, you were communicating this instruction in one of the classes, and I was new that time, and I was like, this is like totally an eye-opening for me. And but I couldn't able to understand that point at that time, but that one got stuck in my mind. And later on, after a couple of years later, and I heard the same thing from you in St. Louis, and that one was again, and then you said a story related with that, with an example, like Srila Prabhupada was, there was a temple president who took the money, and don't blame the instrument of your karma, something related with that. You mentioned that story, which was stuck in my mind, and that I took it like whole, I don't know, it just went into my mind. And then later on in my life, eventually, in my personal life and in my work or with the devotee relationship, in everything, I was like, applying that instruction. It was by Krishna's mercy. I was remembering. Usually, you hear and then you keep forgetting. But this one was like stuck in my mind. I don't know why, but that was very helpful in my life personally, because I want to really very grateful to you and to Srila Prabhupada. This one, that's why I just want to bring this point, because I had like written 4 or 5 things what happened because of following that one instruction is helped me to accept my own, anything happens with any relationship or with work or with the devotee relationship or even that family. So this one I usually take as an instruction, and then I started to apply it, helped me to accept my own thing and help me to bring in the humility point, and then my conscience is not get contaminated. Like main thing is, and I was like appreciative of why Prabhupada was having the word Krishna conscious. I was just thinking about that, and that helped my conscience to correct and brings that little whatever I could able to bring that humility, not to blame anybody, and then that helped my mind stress to relieve my mind stress, which gives a little peace to my mind, and which that hatedness was not within me. It was not coming before. Otherwise, okay, immediately I blame others.
I'm going to slow you down. You're on a roll, but I'm going to slow you down.
So that hatedness was not coming, which was bothering the mind and which was affecting the health also. So this was helping my mind and health at the same time.
You want another lesson?
Yes, sure,
you sure?
Maharaj. Yes, Maharaj.
You sure? You sure?
Sure, Maharaj.
Okay. Just as you said this true confession thing just now, another devotee shared with me a lesson that they learned many years ago about forgiveness. And the same devotee heard it, but they found themselves not able to forgive. And it was over, certain type of things and da-da-da-da-da-da. And now, 20-something, 30 years later, they get it. It takes a while to take, very fundamental things to go in, and then it becomes your life. That's another one. Forgiveness.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I forgot to mention that. So that acceptance
helped me. Okay, but I'm reminding you. Don't. There's these very simple points. Sometimes they stick with you, like you mentioned, and sometimes they bounce or they roll. They stay for 5 days and then they go somewhere else. Steadiness in bhakti means one lives one's life by these principles, and hearing shravanam kirtanam, hearing and chanting, helps cleanse so that remembrance stays with you. So continue in the process of hearing and chanting, and service, right? Service to the Vaishnavas, because these activities are cleansing to the soul. The coverings become cleansed. The original consciousness of the soul is restored. It's very simple, just through sound. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Anybody else? Back in the back.
Haribol Maharaj, in one of the slides you mentioned where everyone was trying to give their suggestion and something, but Lord Hanuman was just sitting there and he already knew by his heart what was there and what Sri Rama has already decided. How can we become like Hanuman, just accepting the...
Follow the example of. How do you become? You follow the example of. So we're not Hanuman, but we can't become Hanuman because he's one of a kind. But we can follow the example of. You become the servant of those who you're trying to follow the example of. You follow in the footsteps of those who are exemplary personalities. No, he not only knew what Ram wanted, but the part that I said, I'll say it again, very lengthy, he pointed out where the other ideas were faulty. Not to vilify or criticize, but just to show it doesn't hold water. They're not substantial because, and this, with all reason and logic, and so he pointed to, and they accepted those elders. They were his elders. They accepted his wisdom. Now, how do you get wisdom? That's how do you become Hanuman-like? Follow Hanuman. And what's the emblem of service? Anything. Service to Ram. We're all serving someone, but service to Ram, and service to Ram, and service to Ram. And he's still doing it. Ram said, stay behind. When it was time to leave, he told Hanuman, you stay behind and sing my glories. So that's what he does. Until the end of the universe, Hanuman's doing what Ram said. Follow the example. Okay.
Haribol Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaji. My question is basically, how can we respect those who harm others? Like if we see that they are tormenting people, like suppose Hitler and stuff.
I got it. The person that expressed to me this thing of forgiveness said they finally got it. They shared this with me. And so there's the saying, you've heard the saying, I'm sure, hate the sin, not the sinner. The respect goes to the soul, not to the behavior. The behavior is not the person. The behavior has everything to do with the modes of nature, impelling someone to be this or that, to be kind or to be harsh, or to be, vicious, or whatever. So the behavior is one thing, the person is the other thing. So respect goes to the person, with the soul. And then, this is important. If you have an attitude, if you or I or any one of us have an attitude of respect, even for a person that's bad, there's the potency, the potential to elevate that person from the lower mode to a higher mode to the highest mode. That other person can be transformed if there's the principle of respect for the soul that's within. The potential of the soul to be Krishna's servant. And that, it doesn't negate being able to discern this is to be done, this is not to be done, this is bad, this is hurtful, this is cruel, this is vicious, you can discern the behavior or the speech, what category it falls into, but that doesn't change the position of respect. When you start to think, let's just say it again a little bit more. When you start to think that way towards others, what happens? You have freedom. You have freedom in the quality of goodness. And when you have freedom in the quality of goodness, you have then the capacity to see options of how you can act or behave or speak to that person in a way that can be elevating them in the position of service to their consciousness. Now, in some cases, it's finishing them. I mean, that has to be done sometimes by Kshatriyas. But, in case we're not Kshatriyas, that option is for Kshatriyas. But we, even in that, the Kshatriya should be the well-wisher of that person. That, lift them from that lower to a higher position. Got it?
Yeah.
It's easier said than done, and it's to do means getting freed from the modes of nature, and we're our own conditioning, not their conditioning. The problem is not over there; it's over here. To bring about elevation of others, it's over here, not over there. Even a bad person.
Okay. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Okay.
We'll pause here. We have 10 more minutes left, but then we can't cover it today because it's already 6:53. Any questions, any reflections here from Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Sarvati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Many good points. That last point only I would like to mention, which Maharaj said, hate the sin, not the sinner, because that would actually help to elevate the consciousness level of the sinner, and that is how people elevate spiritually. So that is that point I like very much. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for sharing. Yes, it is a really good point. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Chinnakeshav.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Too much today, most of the things from Mataji's questions, what they realize from last couple of years, which they are applying in their life, like do not blame the instrument of karma and forgiveness and respect. All this wonderfully Maharaj covered. I like very much, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for highlighting, Prabhu. Anyone else? Anything?
Hare Krishna Mataji. This is Sai.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Mataji, Maharaj first spoke about humility. Actually, I have two questions. Maharaj spoke about humility initially. So when it comes to serving, so where does we know there is a clear line between humility and pride? But what is the difference when somebody's self-respect, self-dignity, and humility? Where do we draw the line, and do we ever draw this line at all? That was one question. And the other one is Maharaj also spoke about forgiveness. But often there is a fear that if we forgive them, the person who's been forgiven might hurt the person, us, the same way they did earlier, or if more, if no, I mean, even sometimes even more than aggressive they had been earlier. So how do we in that case bring our mind to actually forgive and let go? These are the two questions, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. I don't have the answer. I think we'll take it with the Shamkun Prabhu at the end. I'll just see if there are more
Yes,
questions.
Mataji.
Any more questions or thoughts or reflections?
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
So it looks like someone else was also about to speak, but I'll quickly finish.
Please carry on, Mataji. Please carry on. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Prabhu. Prabhu, Mataji, the thing was, I was appreciating how Maharaj dealt with Shari Mataji. She was going very fast. She had some sharings, and Maharaj wanted to hear her, but at the same time, he wanted to uh, make her understand or make us understand that everyone's time is valuable, and uh, it is important to give our message in a short, succinct manner. So that is something that I learned. We might have so many things to share, but it is always better to respect others' time and give it whatever we want to say. We should give it in a very short and sweet manner, Mataji. That's something that I liked. He was able to accept what she was saying, but at the same time, he knew how to stop her very respectfully. How to stop her. That was something a very good learning for me.
Yes, yes, Mataji. I also observed that she was repeating the same thing again and again, and Maharaj understood what she was trying to say, and then he took it and moved forward. Yes, it was really nice. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing. Sanatan Gopal Prabhu, you were
Yeah.
sharing.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
Actually,
Krishna.
we have been talking about we should not blame the instrument when we are faced with some difficulty from the instrument. But because it may be, if it is not due to karmic exchange, if it is due to the free will of the instrument, then free will is to be blamed. In that case, what should we do? And how do we know whatever is happening to us is due to karmic exchange or due to free will of the instrument? Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the question. Yeah, I don't know how can we distinguish about it. Chandrakeshwar Prabhu, you have raised your hand again, or
Yes, Mataji. I
yes.
have something to check with whether my whatever I am applying or following, whether that is correct or
Come
not.
closer to the microphone.
Is it better, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, it's better.
One thing I would like to know whether I am correct or not. If someone is doing bad for us, it's not about bad if they are doing the things very late, but we are respecting still them. And is that the same thing which can we discuss with our family members or whoever is closer to us? Like maybe the issue with some property related or something like that. So I'm still giving respect to the others who is doing that, not properly doing that process, which has to be complete in some time.
I didn't get your question very well, Prabhu. So
Yeah.
you are trying to say that what can you discuss few things internally with the family members or like that for something which was not done properly?
Yes, yes, Mataji.
Okay, okay, understood. Okay, and Ashok Prabhu, yes,
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat. So
Dandavat
here
Pranam.
one appreciation like Maharaj. So I see the Maharaj gestures when questions are coming, then how he patiently is listening. So that one thing, and when they are asking about humility, so even though he explained, so she wants to know more. That time, so generally, whenever the humility parts comes, that means the ideal principle Maharaj explained clearly that so how means globally or something, cosmetically how it is and how tiny we are. So that point, like even though whenever I hear this point, I'm thinking, okay, how tiny we are, even though we are not able to follow or inculcate that thing in our mind as a servant of the Lord. So this is what I appreciate, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for sharing, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Kumarika Mataji, are you there with the hands raised?
Yes, yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandapra
I
Mataji.
was contemplating on the questions that Mataji raised. That if you are forgiving somebody, they may be perpetrating the same thing towards us or towards somebody else. In cases of abuse, we are not supposed to keep quiet. Amanitvam, adambitvam. It's not the principle. You have to walk away from. So if somebody is abusing you physically and or mentally torturing you too much, so in that case of real abuse, Maharaj doesn't say. In other lectures, he has talked about it. Maharaj doesn't say that you should forgive and elevate them, because such sadistic people may not be uh, elevated by your keeping quiet. And so you have to walk away from a position of abuse, whether it is physical or too much mental. But otherwise, so many times we are only perceiving sometimes that people are slighting us and they are being harsh to us or to others. Then among Vaishnavas, none of us are perfect. There are flaws. But if we forgive and give them respect, then they'll learn from your behavior. So that is what I wanted to tell her, Mataji, regarding that. The other question I forgot. I'm not able to recollect. I had some thoughts about that. Can
Hare Krishna, Mataji. The other question was about humility and the difference between humility and pride is well demarcated. But what about do we have to look out for our self-respect, self-dignity when we are especially serving among the Vaishnava community? So where do we draw the line? That was my other question. Thank you for the answer, Mataji.
in a Vaishnava community, I think amanitvam adambitvam is the rule. So to maintain our own humility is the most important, because what we think as self-respect is mostly dictates of the mind, telling us because of the false ego is telling us, oh, you have to have been respected. They slighted you. They didn't announce your name. You did so much service, and all that is our false ego and mind. So, if we can control our mind and the tendency for mm, taking respect, that is a great that will be a great progress in our Vaishnava, in our endeavor to become a pure Vaishnava. Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji, for answering. And I think Shamkun Prabhu, you have the questions from one is the free will, and then Chandakesha Prabhu's question is there. So, and even I have the same little bit similar question what Saintana Mataji was asking is like sometimes forgiveness is not a problem. Like we forgive someone who has done something wrong, but then the same behavior of can be mental torture or something. It gets repeated, then gets repeated. And when it is multiple times, in spite of your forgiveness, when it's really multiple times, it becomes a kind of scar. It's not just an experience. And how to come out of that um, repetitive thing, not just like one incident or two incident or something. So So I think Shamkun Prabhu, you can help with the answers.
Um, I'll okay. 7:06 already. So let's see. Maybe we'll have some time on Monday also, right? It's just 10 minutes.
Yes, 10
So-
minutes is left. Yes, Prabhu,
Yeah.
10 minutes is left.
So why don't we discuss these questions on Monday, Mataji? The answers to this, I may just want to say add something more based on today's lecture. Is that okay? I have noted down all the questions though. Sanatan Gopuraj Prabhu's, Sharimat,
Free will question
I don't know
is.
Mataji, Mataji, all of them. Is it okay?
That's fine, Prabhu.
One thing I wanted to actually ask devotees. Maybe you can just raise your hand and not even speak as such, but you can raise your hand. I just am curious. The 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 today's lecture began with a question on how to receive respect. There are some very nice points which Maharaj did say, that there are three things he said: humility, pridelessness, and service mood. Three things are required to receive respect properly. And part of pridelessness, which he said, which resonated with me very well, was this. He used the phrase of amanitum adambatvam, the humility and pridelessness part from the Bhagavad Gita. And he also said that unless one has been into the teacher apprentice relationship or teacher student relationship, one cannot enter, and one cannot even enter that if one doesn't have humility and pridelessness. So it's a very, very deep statement, because that's the foundation for something else. Now, having said that, there's the exact opposite end of the spectrum, which is in the world that I meet, maybe not for everybody that what you meet, the set of people, but I meet a bunch of people, both from a background of spirituality and a background of hardly any spirituality. I meet both of them. And something that is common to many is a need for respect. And it is more so, I feel, in people who are following a spiritual path, because uh, this need for respect comes from a need for validation, and the need for validation is also partly rooted in, or it has its basis or its foundation in the fact that people believe, I have left something to do this, I want to be recognized for it. And it's also sometimes it's because I want to belong somewhere. So it's not more of respect, but it's actually a cry for belongingness. And when there is respect, people feel that I belong here. When somebody respects them, they feel, oh yeah, he respects me, therefore I am his or I am hers. I belong to this place. Common. So my simple question here to all of you is, how many of you feel that or resonate with it, that yes, I need respect? I just want to ask, can you raise your hands, please? Can I just see where you feel it's a very important component? It's not the only component, but an important component in your life. Do you ever feel it that way at all? So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, like, very few devotees actually. 6.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
I don't feel like I need respect, but some kind of validation that, what I think is also right. I think is also proper, something like that. No need of being giving respect or anything, but
Yes.
just to give importance to my words, like
Yeah.
see that I also have some values which are
Yeah.
good, like
Yeah.
that, but not totally respect. So
Yeah. Nice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
More
7.
like an appreciation. Is that also like
Yes.
asking for respect, bro?
Correct. Correct. Want
Yes.
want to be
Or
seen.
acknowledgement, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. Acknowledgement. Yeah. So the the reason I brought up this topic, it's okay. There are 30 devotees here. Probably 7, 8, maybe it's like 1/3 of the devotees here resonate with it. Less than 30% or so. Uh, but still, it's not a small number. Just it doesn't mean that 50% is the minimum number required. 30% is also a significant number here. While discussing topics like these, we sometimes brush aside our need to be acknowledged, to be loved. And this being acknowledged, being loved, being made visible in the eyes of others, all of these actually somehow people treat it as, hey, this person wants respect. And it could mean it that way, in this way or that way, it could mean. And sometimes when we do hear classes about pridelessness, etc., and how to receive respect, you give it back to the source. Yes, I agree to it that what Maharaj said is the highest level. But for those who are at this stage that they want somebody to see them, somebody to give them, shower them some love, or just acknowledge their presence, all these different kinds of things here. I think the starting point is you should have at least one nice relationship where you can vulnerably say, I need this, and ask the other person, can you be that person for me? And most likely, it has to be a parent or a spouse. It's very important to have that kind of a relationship with a parent or a spouse. Um, it is not it is not so appropriate to have that kind of an expressing that need to one's child, and without expressing that, we often try to impose it on our children that you have to value me. It's not for the sake of the principle alone, but it is for the sake that I need it and why you are not giving it to me. That's a problem here as such. It is also a problem if one approaches uh, one approaches a guru or people who are guiding us with this very same thing. It can come, being acknowledged, being loved can come out of it, but that's not the fundamental reason for that kind of a relationship. So we have to learn which relationship are meant for us for our emotional fulfillment, which relationships are meant maybe little emotional fulfillment, but a lot more of lifting us from a consciousness perspective. So that's all I had to say here, and we can discuss the rest of the questions on Monday, Mataji. Is that fine? But before that, going there, it, does anybody have any thoughts on what I said? Am I missing something, or you you feel there are more dimensions to it which I didn't speak about? Please do say so. Maybe if you can take a minute or two.
Deep Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for your explanation. Yeah. So the point was that some relationships are for emotional fulfillment, and there are some relationship like senior Vaishnavas or Maharaj or your guide are not so much for the emotional fulfillment, but for consciousness upliftment. Mm. It's very to, I think it needs it will take a lot of time for me to process and align with this principle, Prabhu. but it's very nice. Thank you so much. Very grateful to you. Thank you for
And
orienting.
and adding one more thing, apart from spouse, parent, friends too. So what I have seen is many people, they say uh, we need guidance, etc. But actually, what they need is friendship. They're not ready for guidance because many people they want to do what they want to do, and but they want friendship. And a common pattern that I have seen in people who want to do what they want to do, even though they say, I need your guidance. You tell me what to do. It's not about the guidance. It's they are seeking validation. They are asking not just validation, they're seeking appreciation. Because nobody has or they haven't felt that others have appreciated them enough. And this is one of the reasons that I sometimes tell folks, if you really want to go out and achieve something in the world, because people sometimes stop themselves from achieving something in the world and instead expect the sense of fulfillment that comes from that achievement from other people around them. So it's on a case by case basis, since you are also taking care of many devotees there, Dilil Prabhu, you we need to know what is lacking in people and how somehow various people or circumstances can fulfill what they lack. And in some cases, we have to tell them, my dear Prabhu or Mataji, you are looking for fulfillment in the wrong place. That is also required sometimes.
Yeah, got it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Just one more line I will add, Prabhu, for your last point, what you asked. I'm not very clear because respect has many dimensions. So even if you are doing something without any expectation that okay, someone else will validate or someone else will do something or anything, you don't have as such anything uh, in your mind. But then if someone just says a kind word also for what you have done or something, you feel good. And
Definitely.
vice versa, if someone just neglected you, I mean,
Yeah.
nothing much, just neglected you,
Yes.
you feel little off. I mean,
Yes.
whether it is the respect or not, that I'm not sure too.
What is respect? I didn't understand this last question thing of yours.
I mean, so that feeling is very natural. I mean, what I'm saying that I feel like that we are
I
inbuilt
understand.
with
I
that
understand
feeling.
that part, but I didn't understand your question. You're saying whether
So
that
so
is respect. I didn't understand that
so
question.
those feelings, whether we feel happy or we feel little sad, that is like we are expecting respect from someone,
Hmm.
or so that was my question. I mean, that feeling comes under having feeling of getting respect or not. That was
It's yes, but it's a broad thing that it's being respected. But respected means I am seen by somebody broadly. It's not just praise or appreciation. It is that I'm acknowledged. I'm present for somebody. It's there.
but not even I'm saying not even acknowledgement. You are not even seeking acknowledgement by someone. But then
Hmm.
if
But a
accidentally,
lack of like a even the negative sense.
even accidentally also, if someone smile
Hmm.
to you, you feel good, and accidentally also, if someone neglected, you feel bad, little bad.
Yes, 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 correct.
So that
All of this have to be thought about in one way. There is a disease and there are symptoms of the disease. We cannot cure. I mean, the Western medicine, the way it does is, it just, we have Kumari Kamataji here. I should be careful when I speak. The Western medicine tries to look at different symptoms of the disease, and sometimes they are successful in curing the disease. Sometimes they aren't because they haven't gone to the root of the disease. That's in the same way, feeling loved by somebody. Can somebody mute their microphone? Feeling loved when somebody acknowledges us, or feeling um, disturbed when we are not even seen by others. These are feelings, but these are also an indication of a deeper thing in our own selves, that I am not trying to look at Krishna. I want to look at Krishna's parts alone, and his energies alone, but not to the source behind those energies, or the source behind those parts and parcels. So the deeper disease is that I am not receiving love from Krishna. And actually, the secret of the Bhagavad Gita is in the 18th chapter, he says, I love you, turn towards me. For not loving the source of all of us, Krishna, we are trying to look for love in various other places. So that is a deeper disease. So whenever we feel a lack of fulfillment, we have to look at what is the ways and what are the ways and means by which I can deepen how I receive love from not just this one person who's not loving me, but maybe from others who are connected to Krishna. We'll have to think through it. But whether we can get it or not, there is a love and there is a deeper sense of fulfillment just in the chanting of the holy name. There is something that will come. It is a very mystical way. It happens. It's not necessarily it will happen when you're chanting or when I am chanting. It happens at some point in time, but that's important. So that's the root. It seems very counterintuitive, but that is what it is.
Okay, Prabhu. Yes, I'm getting it. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, I think we can close the call now. We are beyond our time, and the rest of the questions we can take on Monday. Thank you, devotees, for joining. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.